Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to my film and TV channel. And we have a film review today, a biographical romantic drama. And the film's called Ammonite. Please, if you're new to this channel, please push that subscribe button. If you enjoy this, I try and give you information and reviews on these films, my reviews, other critics' reviews, etc. If you enjoy what you see, please push that notification button. I do lots of film reviews, TV drama reviews, information vlogs, lots of stuff on my film and TV channel. So I hope you enjoy it anyway. And if you do check the playlist, you'll see stuff on my football team as well, Manchester City. So if you've any interest in that, or you know somebody might be interested, please point them in my direction. I do city history, city present, city quizzes, city information vlogs, city magazine vlogs, or lots of different things on there. But please have a look at that. But if you're not bothered, don't worry, there's loads of film and TV stuff. And if you're after any followers or friends on Facebook and Twitter, just give us just drop me. The links are on screen now. Just get in touch, and I do check every 3 or 4 days and try and follow and friend everyone back on there. I do post loads of stuff and repost stuff on there as well. All comments are welcome on this film or anything to do with film and TV. It doesn't matter, but obviously we're looking at the film Ammonite today. But if you want to have a comment on that, if you don't have time for a comment, just give us a little thumbs up. That'd be great. Right, Ammonite, yes, a 15 rating. Class just under 2 hours, but it's got a run time of about 1 hour 53 minutes. I just had to look at Ammonite. I think I knew what an Ammonite was, but just had to look at the dictionary. An ammonoid fossil, especially one of a later type, found chiefly in the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, typically with an intricately frilled suture line. So there you go. That's Ammonite. So that's it says on the box what the film's about, I suppose. Yeah, it's, as I said, a biographical, loosely anyway, romantic drama film written and directed by Francis Lee. Yeah, if you like Francis Lee stuff, not the footballer that I used to love and adore, but obviously another gentleman of the same name. The film is loosely, as I said, inspired by the life of British paleontologist Mary Anning. Yeah, and this is played today in this film by Kate Winslet. Nice to see Kate Winslet again, and she's got a couple of other things in the pipeline I'm quite interested in. What's it about? Well, it is set in the 1840s England. The acclaimed but overlooked fossil hunter Mary Anning and a young woman sent to convalesce by the sea develop an intense relationship, altering both of their lives forever. Or does it? I don't know. I didn't quite tell you this film, but there you go. That's what the old blurb says anyway. And of course it does centre, the film centres on the speculative, and this is what we're talking about here, romantic relationship between Anning and Charlotte Murchison, played by Saoirse Ronan, I think I pronounced that correctly. Gemma Jones, James McArdle, Alec Secaranu and Fiona Shaw also star in this. It's had its world premiere at the Toronto Film Festival on the 11th of September 2020 and released in Australia on the 14th of January and released in the United Kingdom here in the good old UK on the 26th of March 2021 by Lionsgate. It's all set, and the original lady we're talking about, all set Lyme Regis in Dorset, of course. The scenes were shot chronologically in this film to apparently deepen the immersion in the character's psychological trajectory. David Tucker, director of the Lyme Regis Museum himself, consulted on the film's scientific accuracy. So there you go. So they made a bit of an effort to put some meat on the bones and not to be too way out. Yeah, so as he said, loosely inspired, but how loosely inspired was the controversy about this one. There is no evidence as to Anning's sexuality in real life, and the film's historical accuracy has been questioned. Two of Anning's distant relatives reported having different views on this to depict her. Of course, in this film, she's depicted as a lesbian. Lorraine Anning supporting the film and Barbara Anning criticising the choice. So there you go. You can't please everyone all the time, can you? Lee himself defended this decision, saying in some tweets, after seeing queer history be routinely straightened throughout culture and given historical figure where there is no evidence whatsoever of a heterosexual relationship, is it not permissible to view the person with another context? Fair enough, but would these newspaper writers, obviously who were complaining about this, have felt the need to whip up uninformed quotes from self-proclaimed experts if the character's sexuality had been assumed to be heterosexual? I mean, I don't know. It's a film. I don't know, Francie. I don't ever agree with Francie. I don't agree with. No, there's nothing to say she wasn't. Nothing to say she was. But hey, there you go. I mean, obviously, it does help the film in a certain way, I suppose. But so why not? Poetic license and all this sort of thing. Yeah, some reviews also criticised the choice. A piece in The Guardian read, "No one knows if Mary Anning had lovers." I mean, this is very good, actually. This is a very good line from The Guardian. "No one knows if Mary Anning had lovers, but what a new film does get right is the vital role women played in her life." So yeah, that's interesting. That's what we want to see. We want you know, if there's any realism, we want to see a little bit of it. I watched the trailer before I watched the film, and yeah, I think the trailer possibly covers the more lively scenes in the film, perhaps excluding some of the sexual content, which isn't over the top, but there is certainly one main scene and a couple of little scenes of sexual content. So yeah, it sort of covers all the best bits. It doesn't cover all the quiet bits and the well, some good bits as well on the beach. As I say, it was quite atmospheric. But yeah, I quite like the trailer. I'm going to give the trailer 6.5 out of 10. I thought the trailer was okay. It certainly didn't put me off, put it that way. What about the critics? How are they all thinking on this one? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, it holds an approval rating of 68%, which is okay. That's based on 216 reviews. Average rating of 6.7 out of 10 again, which is okay. 147 fresh and 69 rotten reviews. The audience, less than 50 scores have been left, but they're up in the 85% positivity, so the audience are quite happy. The website's consensus reads, "The chemistry between Saoirse Ronan and never better Kate Winslet helps Ammonite transcend its period romance trappings." Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Metacritic, the other critic site we have a look at, the film has a weighted average score of 73 out of 100. Again, not too bad. That's based on 40 critics, of which 30 were positive and 10 were mixed, so no negative, so that's good. The audience on Metacritic, 6.7 out of 10, again with 40 ratings, 22 positive, 13 mixed and just 5 negative. So again, still fairly positive overall. The playlist gave it 5 out of 10. They weren't overly impressed and went on to say, "Well, all the markings of the soul-wrenchingly impossible affair seem to be here. Ammonite sadly feels too distant, underpowered and colourless for its own good, as if somewhere down the line its heart had died and hardened like a fossil waiting to be discovered." Yeah, very good, very good. The AV Club's Katie Rife, she gave it 6.7 out of 10. "Ammonite is too pallid to really get your blood flowing." Yep, I can't disagree with that one, Katie. Spot on there, I think. But The Hollywood Reporter gave it 9 out of 10. There, David Rooney from The Hollywood Reporter. "This is the work of a mature filmmaker in full command of his voice, yielding remarkable performances, chief among them a complex character study of stoicism and desire from Kate Winslet that might be the best work of her career." Yep, I think David got a bit excited about that one. Internet Movie Database, Joe Public, You Me, almost 8,000 reviews, 7,921 scores and reviews left. 6.5 out of 10. Okay, that's not great, not fantastic, but not too bad. 6.5 out of 10. The Good, the Bad, and the Meh. The Good, Quietly Beautiful, 7 out of 10. Yellow Marlin gave it on the 17th of October 2020. Went on to write, "The first word that comes to mind when reviewing Ammonite is implicit. The only other review at the time of writing," obviously did this along October, flipping out, we've slept since then, haven't we, "laments a lack of explicit sex scenes. There's no need for them. This is an understated love story, not a porn film," correct. "The sex scenes are few in number, but shot with delicacy and restraint. In fact, very little of this movie is explicit. An awful lot is left to the imagination of the viewer." It is. "Backstories are hinted at, touched briefly upon, sadly, and only once filled in. Even the ending is left to us to imagine." It is. "Implicit rather than explicit is the watchword for this movie. The performances of the 4 female leads are in the same vein, subtle, acted throughout, never overdone. A really beautiful movie." The Bad, well, Choco on the 10th of December, a little bit later on, said, "I am sorry," and only gave it 3 out of 10. "I am sorry, but one good story did not get as good realisation. No chemistry between the actresses, meaningless dialogues, boring most of the time. One thing too, almost no interaction between the two before that first kiss. It looked more like an unexpected attack. Both intimate scenes looked pushed and non-realistic. Maybe it was bad casting, maybe bad direction. Screenplay underdeveloped, that's for sure." So they weren't overly happy. And the middling Pino Ficara on the 2nd of February 2021 film, stated it was good acting, but only gave it 5 out of 10. Beside good acting, I found the movie boring and predictable, and not just the plot, even the dialogue is cliche. The end is a bit unsatisfying, kind of French style. Yeah, I can see where Pino's coming from on that one as well. Right, Bernard's thoughts, my little thoughts for what they're worth on this one. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different, but it's very similar in a way to another film I watched a few weeks ago, which I did quite like, called The Dig. If you remember that, The Dig. That was again a period romantic drama set against real life sort of fossil hunting, if you like, or archaeological stuff. But the only thing, perhaps this one has got over The Dig. Perhaps it's better shot. It's more atmospheric at times, and but certainly The Dig was a little bit more interesting and a little bit more gripping. Even though that had its moments of subtlety and silence and quiet contemplation. But yeah, that's a similar thing I can compare it to. If you like The Dig, you might like this, but I wouldn't say it was anywhere near as good. And I can't remember offhand what I scored The Dig now, but yeah, I did quite like The Dig. But this is a similar sort of thing. If you want that sort of look to a film. I mean, I do agree that the two main protagonists just feel a little bit thrown together and nothing really rings true as far as how the relationship grows. But they are troubled souls, so perhaps that's how it should be. But again, we're having to make that judgment, which is perhaps what the director and everyone wants us to do, so which is fair enough. But as I say, it's you do sort of think it's all a bit too easy, a little bit weird the way they come together, and all too just to suit the script sort of thing. But as I say, that bears in line with the fact it's not based on truth. We don't know, do we? We don't know what the truth is, I suppose. But yeah, they are troubled souls independently, so perhaps they would try and get together. Whether they would like this, I'm not too sure. I mean, the 2 hours of the film, it's about 1 hour and 54 minutes, as I said, didn't exactly fly by, but then again, I didn't really get bored either. I mean, even though it's a very, very simple story, it's very bland. I mean, the storyline, you can sort of predict, you know what's going to happen. There's nothing in this film that sort of shocks you or is a twist, if you like. You sort of more or less could, you know, from the opening sequences, from the opening scenes, you know exactly what's going to happen. Even if you haven't watched a trailer or anything, it's all laid out. So there's nothing in it that surprises you. I mean, at times I did want to give the two leads a shake, you know, a good shake, but that's again part and parcel of the characters they were playing. And yeah, there are a handful of additional characters thrown into the mix that we know very little about. Like we don't learn much about the two protagonists, and we certainly don't know much about these other guys that are thrown in as well, which again, all left to our own imagination. I don't mind having an imagination, but sometimes I want things told to me as well in a story. I don't always want to have to figure out what's going on and what's gone on in the past to lead to this situation, and this is what this film is, unfortunately. I think the real positive in this, and the real thing I did like, was I could actually feel the chill factor. I could actually hear the waves. I could actually get that bracing feel from obviously the Lyme Regis frontage, the beach scenes, etc., and the grit and the grime of it, and the searching in the mud and stuff like that. I mean, that came out really, really well. I quite enjoyed that element of it in itself, and also there's some very, very short scenes of London near the end of the film as well, as she goes to London, and I did enjoy looking at the scenery and the scenes set in London as well. I did enjoy that, but obviously very brief scenes, probably 2 or 3 minutes at most, if that. So, but I did enjoy that side. That's the real positive in this for me. The actual effect, the actual feeling on the beach, and the actual the actual move to London and looking at sort of London in the 1840s, which you could imagine they were. You know, it was very well done. Sadly, I just wanted to know more about Anning's character, to be honest with you. Never did really find out that much, as I said before. Underneath this all, it's just a very slow-paced, at times painful, romantic period drama without any real edge to it. As I say, there's a couple of sexual scenes that sort of liven it up, perhaps in the wrong way, if you like. But I think they're well done, they're well put together. But we don't really get to know the characters, and I like to know the characters a little bit more. And obviously the bad publicity it got, obviously probably has done it okay from a point of view of people wanting to go out and watch it. But yeah, I mean, at least it give it some publicity, which let's say it's done okay, hasn't it, from the critics? But there you go. And the ending, someone mentioned the ending, didn't they? I think the ending was a cop out. Again, it's leaving it to our imagination. It was an okay ending, you know, to say, but again, I was asked to think too much about what's going on rather than. To me, sometimes I like to be told and like to have a, you know, the actually conclusion to it all. Not a total waste of 2 hours of my life. I certainly want to visit Lyme Regis again. I have visited Lyme Regis many years ago. And I do want to find out a little bit more about the lady, the protagonist in this, Anning. I'm quite interested now in going out and finding out a little bit more about her. So it's worked in that way. But as a film, as entertainment, it was a little bit weak, although as I said, it wasn't a total disaster. But if you do like a slow burning atmospheric period romantic drama, not as lively as The Dig, which in itself wasn't the most fast-paced film in the world, then yeah, this is okay. But if you don't like that sort of thing, steer well clear. I am going to give it my watchable rating. I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. I played it giving it 5.5 out of 10, but that'd be cruel, that, because I did enjoy elements of it. I did enjoy Kate Winslet's performance, even though I wouldn't say it was a best work by, like one of the critics said, by a long way. But I did enjoy the presentation of it and the look of it and the feel of it. So yeah, I will give it my watchable 6 out of 10 rating, but with a big sort of big but as far as you're watching this. If you're not into slow paced stuff, please avoid. You'll probably get a little bit bored with this, to be honest with you. And the poster, we've had some posters up there. The posters are nice, simple posters, aren't they? I can't give the poster any less or any more than the film, so I'm going to score the poster 6 as well. So, yeah, the trailer was a little bit more productive. 6.5 out of 10 for the trailer and 6 out of 10 for both the film and the poster. But so obviously the poster and the film tie today. But yeah, say watch the trailer. It does give you an idea of what it is. It does give you an idea of the feel for it. If you like the trailer, then you may just like the film. But if you think, oh, that doesn't look overly exciting on the trailer, then don't. And if you don't like the films like The Dig, then probably steer clear. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think anyway, if you get to watch this. What we're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So we'll meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps you have a flick across, have a look at my football channel, the Citizen channel. All I ever ask of you is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.